Hey everyone, my name is Lee Pan. I'm a palliative care doctor. I'm board certified in internal medicine and hospice and palliative care. Uh, it's been a long day. It's only in the middle of the week, but it's been quite busy and been just thinking a lot about the people that I see and the work that I do and decided to make a video. So this channel's name is called Death Magic, and I think there's a lot of meaning to that for me personally. And the goal for me to make this channel was so that I could spread the word, raise awareness about um, how death and dying really relates to living your life. And the reason for that is because I see so much of it in my work. And even though I've only been doing this for a few years, I feel like I have something to go on. And I wanted to take you all with me along the ride for this journey. So, Death Magic is inspired by video games, actually. I'm a huge fan of fantasy and RPGs, and I've always just been fascinated with magic. But so I thought it was an apt name for this channel and its content. The spirit of this channel isn't to glorify death. It's not to um, make it seem cool or the opposite. It's not meant to make it seem like it's a horrifying experience. If anything, my goal with this channel is to help people live a better life. And um, my philosophy is that for the love of life, make peace with death. So, taking you out on a walk with me today while we still have a few minutes of sunlight left, I just wanted to bring up a topic. So, I've been getting into this book called Life After Life, and it was written by a philosopher, physician, Dr. Moody, who studied um, near death experiences by many people, over 150 people, and recounted their stories. And what he found was there are remarkably similar and common themes for people who survive near death experiences. And I think if you have a chance, the book is very underrated and very worth a read. Whether you already believe that there's life after life, or um, you feel like that's a bunch of bull, I think keep an open mind and give it a read. The reason I say that is because I find a lot of truth in what he's saying. And one of the greatest ironies in medicine, in modern medicine, is that we've done so much, we've come so far. We've advanced medical technology and science so far that we've drastically raised the average life expectancy of humans. Now, throughout all this, we've subspecialized and further subspecialized. So now that there is a specialty for nearly everything, there's a specialty for that one part of your eye that only one expert in the entire country is capable of uh, managing, for example, just to give an extreme example. But you got, from birth to life, you've got OBGYN, you've got pediatrics, you got neonatal medicine, you got pediatrics medicine, you have your general family medicine, you have your geriatrics medicine when you get old, you have your psychiatry, you have your cardiology, you have your pulmonology, nephrology, and the list goes on and on and on. And the truth is, there's not enough attention paid to the study of end of life. I think the reason behind that is multifaceted and rooted in history. Um, Ironically, dying didn't used to be so much of a taboo, right? The ancient civilizations at times even celebrated someone's death with great honor and dignity and remembrance. Somewhere along the way, and I find that especially true with the Western community and civilizations, somewhere along the way, we started moving death and dying from the home setting because back in the day, maybe, I don't know, 100 years ago, there wasn't much you could do to extend someone's life. The medical technology is just not there yet. And more recently, several decades ago, medicine became so advanced that artificial life support can now extend someone's natural life by a matter of weeks, months, years, even a few decades. I think decades is usually the extreme, but you know what I'm saying. The unintended consequence of that, I believe, is that now the vast majority of people, when they die in some sort of healthcare setting, some sort of nursing home, hospital, um, outside of the home. Contrasted with what used to happen is people would bring their families home and everyone would help take care of the person as they're dying. Now that people, with all this medical inventions, all these medical inventions and advancements, people are now dying more in the hospital. Now, what that effectively does is normalize the invisibility of death. People don't see people die on a regular basis anymore. Your family members who are young, 100 years ago, your grandchildren, your cousins, your relatives, your friends, they would all come to visit you at home and they would see you die, and that would be a normal occurrence. So people were very comfortable with death. And now the people that see you die are the people that end up taking care of you still, but these people are different. They're now the nurses, the techs, the doctors, the respiratory therapists, um, the medical staff that truly see death still for what it is. And what's the point of that, right? The practical consequences of that has led to this unrealistic view of life and death, first of all. And now there is also this irrational fear of death that I like to call death anxiety. I did not coin that term, but I did learn about the concept of death anxiety. Shout out to Jerry Powell's podcast. So, what is death anxiety? I think personally, this is just my own philosophy. There's a healthy fear of death. I don't think anybody who is of sound mind and healthy body intends to die and do reckless things that expose them to danger unnecessarily. I'm not judging anyone out there, but the vast majority of people should have a healthy fear of death because that is a survival instinct that we have evolved as humans to keep us safe. We put our guard up and are cautious, right? And that keeps us safe, helps us live hopefully a long, healthy life and spend as much time with our family as possible. So how do we contrast that to death anxiety? Death anxiety, I believe, is a more pathologic, meaning abnormal, state of being, of feeling. Death anxiety, in my opinion, is what holds back a lot of people's potential today. And the reason I brought up life after life earlier is one of the themes of a near-death experience. And I think this is fairly common knowledge by now. But if you don't know, a lot of survivors of a near-death experience, which by definition is that they either came very close to actually dying or they indeed survived death, meaning survived a cardiac arrest where the heart stopped and they were brought back. Many of these people, and I would wager to say most of these people, the vast majority of these people, experience a transformational moment. In that moment, they learn that death is not your enemy and death is not something to be obsessively fearful of. And death, if you make peace with it, you live your life with much more meaning. So, concrete example would be that, which I think is the most practical for most people, is that when you realize how significant your life is in contrast to death, when compared to death, when that moment comes and your life begins to play in front of you, when life flashes before your eyes is the term that people like to use. you realize that what matter to you are not things like how many promotions you got when you were alive, how much money you made, and what kind of accomplishments potentially even. No, what you tend to realize or remember, and perhaps these are memories that you've not remembered for a long time, are those little moments that truly brought you joy. Moments of peace, moments spent with your family, your loved ones, and doing things together. These things tend to be what people think of as they die. And certainly from my personal experience, these are things that people think of before they die. They're the only things that people tend to think of before they die. And to be able to let go of the small things clears your palette for what's actually most important to you. And the reason why I think more people could use an experience like that is we live in a society where everything is designed to get you hooked. I'm not talking about drugs, not talking about porn, I'm not talking about violence or anything like that we see on TV. Well, maybe, but all these things, plus the news, Facebook, Instagram shorts, YouTube shorts, TikTok, every single one of these things, the newspaper even, everything that is currently being produced. Oh, there are a bunch of deer over there. Sorry, ADHD. We largely live in a consumerist society here in America, and the way it works is the only way it works is if we keep figuring out things and ways to get people hooked on consuming. And you may not realize, but a lot of major events that get broadcasted, get widespread broadcasted on the news, on the internet, on Facebook, Instagram, etc., propagated through our society. At least a good amount of them, I believe, are curated to spark engagement. Engagement with the content, but also a lot of times against each other. And what does this accomplish, right? What this does is it shifts the focus of people from things that actually should matter to them to things that they think should matter to them. And so it distracts you from the things that you tend to think about when you're facing your mortality before you die, and when you do actually die, when your consciousness is slipping away into that darkness towards the light. Those images that show up, those are the things that I hope this channel can help promote so that people remember truly why they're living their lives and stop going about every day as if they're zombies and just consuming things that they're told to consume. Um, and really find meaning again, true meaning that grounds them and provides them with lasting peace and happiness. So, bit of a long-winded introduction to Death Magic. Welcome. Um, and again, so none of what I will say in this channel represents my professional work. It does not represent my training programs, my school, my medical school, graduate school, whatever. And it does not represent the opinions of my current work and my current employers. All of these opinions are my own and my own alone. So, welcome. If you find this intriguing, this idea intriguing, feel free to drop a comment. Let me know. Let me know your story. If you are interested in opening a discussion and sharing with the community, sharing with the world, please reach out to me. Look forward to making more of these videos and hopefully make the world a more peaceful place filled with just a little bit more love. Because at the end of the day, love is all that matters. Believe it.